Not pressing the buttons fast enough. Welcome to the carousel. I am John.
Did you forget?
Okay.
Use take two.
Yeah, okay. No, I didn't have my fucking intro reminder card open, so there you go.
So I forgot what my own name was.
Yeah, I don't know. Who am I? What am I doing here? There it is. Okay. Take two. Welcome to the carousel, where we discuss video games, movies, sometimes comic books, and generally whatever awful things those conversations lead us to. I am John, sometimes known as MusiM. With me, I have Jake.
In space, nobody can hear you stream. Because people stream and pray. It's a game. Came out.
I mean, like, are we listening to the actual like data being streamed, or are we listening to the people talking while they're streaming?
Well, you're listening to neither, because it's space. Nobody can hear anything. But if you could hear it, it would just sound like the old dial-up. That it would just be that, a ton of that. It would be awful.
I mean, what if you were talking about like Alien Covenant, like someone just like took their phone and tried to stream to YouTube or something, Alien Covenant, while they were watching it in the theater?
Well, but again, if they were in space, they wouldn't hear anything. That's what this whole thing is about. Anyway, I'm full of shit. Last episode, I had said I was talking about the PS Gold game. PS Gold, that's not a thing. PS Plus games that were coming out in May. And I said Typewriter was this really cool game where you move around all these letters and make words and stuff. I was thinking of Typo Man. That is the game that was super stoked that it turns out is not the game we're getting. Typewriter is a game where you play as a colon, like the punctuation. So.
Oh, not an asshole. Okay.
Nope. Well, maybe. Maybe two assholes. I don't know. You're two dots that roll around together all over the place. I don't know what that is. I watched a quick video and went, oh, damn it, that's not the right thing, and then moved on. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll play it at some point, but yeah. We didn't discuss this. Do you want to take releases, or do you want me to? It's Saturday, folks. We're off our game. We're used to doing this on Thursday nights. Now it's basically Saturday morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I can start running through them.
Okay.
So, the 16th, Injustice 2 comes out for PS4 and XBO. Does that not come out for PC?
I thought it was supposed to, but Metacritic didn't list it. So I wonder if maybe it's further down the line, or...
Well,
I know WB tends to put a pretty big gap in some of their releases, and then there was that whole Batman fiasco, so maybe they're a little gun-shy?
Well, and they took, remember Injustice 1, they had a lot of, like, they couldn't get the licensing for Predator and Alien for the PC or something like that on the first one, so they took a lot of shit on their PC version on it. Something with the DLC, or maybe it was that everyone assumed that it was the licensing, and they never.
For Injustice?
Yeah, like the first Injustice.
Those guys weren't in Injustice. Those are Mortal Kombat X.
Oh, well,
Predator and Alien and all them. Yeah, that was on Mortal Kombat X.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that was it. But I mean, there's
the PC got all the DLC for the first Injustice because I own like 4 copies of that game.
Gotcha.
It was good DLC, great costumes. I kind of stayed radio silent on this one, just because like the thing that they're doing is they're showing everyone's super moves, and it's like, motherfucker, no, like that's what I'm buying the game for. Don't show me.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. I don't know. I will. I don't know if I'll get it this next week, but I will eventually get it because I really like the first Injustice.
Real solid story. Good voice acting. It had all the right people. It's got Kevin Conroy, and I'm a little bummed that Red Hood is going to be a DLC character on this one. But who am I fucking kidding? I'm probably going to buy all the DLC for it anyway. I'm a sucker for really anything that NetherRealm puts out. So
my big hope is that because fucking Boone, Ed Boone? He did that tweet survey, and I'm sure I brought it up every time we talked about this game, where he was like, what DLC character would you like in this game? And the choices were Buffy, Hellboy, and I forgot 2 other characters that weren't, DC, but like both of them were, I would kill to play Buffy and fucking Hellboy. So
I don't really have especially a whole lot of love for either of those characters. I liked Oh God, was it Ron Perlman? I liked his portrayal of Hellboy, but I've never really cared about the character or universe of Hellboy.
Oh, yeah, I really liked the comic. I liked the movie, but as much like they, Hellboy and Liz aren't supposed to hook up. They're not the couple. Abe and like they really fucked up Abe Sapien in the movie, and it really irritated me.
Well, speaking as someone who has never read one issue of that comic, I feel like I speak for a lot of people when I would tell you that I would be interested to know how they fucked him up. Was he not a fish person? How did they fuck him up?
He was a fish person, but he wasn't some like he talked like a normal dude, like, and he didn't have some weird like psychic power things. He was kind of a grumpy old man guy who was dating Liz. Like him and Liz were the item. Like they basically completely lobotomized his personality and what he does. And he like wore normal clothes and like in the comics, like the thing I really like about the Hellboy comics is everyone just kind of accepts that that Hellboy and Abe and things like that exist. So, like, you'll have Hellboy just walking around interviewing normal people whenever he's investigating something supernatural. And
When you said interviewing normal people, I'm picturing him with, like, the NPR mic walking up to people on the street and being like, so what do you think about this firing of Comey?
no,
Nope, that's not... I was like, don't you have better things to do? Like, you're not Clark fucking Kent. What are you doing, man?
he has like a notepad and stuff. But
Yeah, he's got the big trench coat and the fedora. Yeah, I can see it.
no. What? No.
Giant, oversized pencil in the big stone hand.
No. I don't. But point being is like the whole like lockup in the movies I never liked. Like it was neat when it came out, and seeing that scene where he punches the truck is still pretty cool. But at the same time, it's Del Toro really just said fuck off to the comics for the most part on that movie. So anyway, this has nothing to do with anything.
Injustice is out, yes.
Right. So, and then on the same day, a game I had never heard of until Giant Palm posted a quick look called The Surge is coming out for PC, XBO, and PS4.
I put a comment from the back of the box quotes in there. Do you want to read that off before you get into what it is?
Features innovative combat mechanics.
Mm-hmm. And what is it?
It's. I mean, the game is Dark Souls, but sci-fi.
Yep. It's the same guys who made. Was it Lords of the Fallen?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Is that yeah, same studio. So like, previously they made a little more magic-y version of Dark Souls, like down to, like maybe instead of bonfires you had lanterns or something like that. Or no, that was Bloodborne. It was super close, and this looks very much like a reskinning of that. Except you don't have a dodge, you have this weird, like, bounding? I don't know, it looks a lot more interesting, or rather, it looks like it would be a lot more interesting to play than to watch.
See, I've always wanted a really cool sci-fi RPG where you're, like, doing all the shit they're doing in that game with robot parts. So, on that end, I'm kind of excited for it, but I'm also just worried about how good the game actually is, so I don't know.
Well, Lords of the Fallen... in fact, I think it was a game with gold maybe like 6, 7, 8 months ago. So you may have it in your list. You can go back and play it. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It had some cool ideas. It was polished. It looked pretty. It had darkness where there needed darkness and lots of color where you needed color. It wasn't. It was kind of a B-budget version of Dark Souls, and it was like, well, I got Dark Souls on the computer, like it's a mouse click away from this. Like, I don't know. Yeah, the sci-fi thing might be cool. Like, there's this aspect where you can, basically it looks like you're fighting all humans in a bunch of other mech suits because you have this mech suit that you're bombing around in, and you can target specific body parts of your enemies. And if you are targeting that part and weakening that part, and then you do like an execution move, which seem like they're going to be pretty key. You're either guaranteed or more likely to get that armor piece, like that slot item, to drop. So, like, if your helmet is dog shit, like, not literal dog shit. I mean, maybe if it was literal dog shit, yeah, you'd probably want to upgrade that.
Oh, jeez. Maybe take a shower and wash your hair beforehand. Jesus Christ.
Sling it off, pitch it at the wall, new one.
Oh, God, what are you hoping to accomplish with that? This isn't fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator or something.
Like you get a residual armor bonus because like you're still wearing some of the helmet.
Like the machines smell, they aren't going to run away from you. I mean, you're not going to accomplish anything.
Well, there's humans in the machines, so it's kind of like mechs, right? Very tiny mechs, very tiny human-sized mechs. But anyway, say your helmet sucks, you want a new helmet. You can go around cracking dudes in the noggin, and they're more likely to drop helmets for you. So, I don't know. I'll certainly give it a fair shot when it comes out.
Okay. Let's see. On the 18th, Watch Dogs 2 No Compromise DLC comes out for all Xbox, PS4, and PC. Almost said all the platforms, and then I remembered Nintendo exists, so my bad, Nintendo fans.
Right. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they re-released like a remastered Watch Dogs 2 on the Switch. The reason I put this on here is I wanted to ask, did you ever play any of the Watch Dog games?
No.
None of them. Okay, I didn't either. I saw some footage of the first one, and they were like, it's totally Chicago! And I looked at it, and I was like, that ain't fucking Chicago! Like, you took a couple of blocks of Chicago and put them in the middle of Oregon. And Pittsburgh, maybe? Like, what is this city? I don't know. And also, it doesn't look fun. So, okay.
I kind of want to play Watch Dogs 2. Actually, I really want to play Watch Dogs 2. I don't know. I'll worry about it later. So, also on the 18th, Thumper for Switch comes out. That's that rhythm game that you really liked last year, isn't it?
Yes, it's the game that I keep meaning to get back to, but, like, it takes so much of your attention and effort and focus to play that game that I always think, like, nah, I'm just gonna fire up Adventure Capitalist and turn on Netflix. Like I just worked for 9 hours. Like I can't muster that intensity. But I mean, as long as you're playing with headphones, this seems like an awesome game to take on a commute or in a plane or something. Yeah, and any reason to talk about that game is a good reason. So.
And then on May 26th, Friday the 13th, the game for PC, PS4, and XBO comes out. This is a Kickstarter game, and I did back it. And I am.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that.
Like, it cost me, what did I spend on it? $25? I don't know about that. That might have been a bad choice. But, I'm trying to see what. Oh, I get to choose either. I get to choose what platform I'm on, and I don't think I've chosen yet. So, if anyone gets that game, let me know what platform you're aiming for, and maybe I'll see if I can get my key for that platform, because I don't know.
Are they shipping any physical copies of that game?
You would think I would know that, but I kind of tune out all their updates.
Well, yeah, you must get 15 to 20 a day from everything you pack.
Yeah, I get a lot of updates, and like once it moves into beta on any Kickstarter, you get a lot of fairly useless updates. And on Friday the 13th, they've been in beta for at least a half year now, like since January or December or something like that. And I don't know if the game's any good or what, and I'm glad they're packing all this stuff into it. So hopefully it winds up being a cool game, but we'll see.
Well, I was looking through. I was thinking, the 26th. That's a really weird. Like, it's Friday the 13th. Why are you releasing on the 26th? And I just looked, and the next Friday the 13th is in October.
Oh,
it's like, yeah, maybe they didn't want to push it back 5 months just to have a cute release date. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Well, and the Kickstarter either launched or ended on a Friday the 13th, like one of the two. So,
okay. So this is, for anyone who doesn't know, this is like an asymmetrical multiplayer survival game.
Yeah.
If you're the counselor, if you're Jason, it's a asymmetrical multiplayer stab children game, and huck them into trees and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be really cool. It might not be. I have no idea.
They really seem to get the feel of the movies. Like, clearly these are fans of the movies. Like, they've even got some of the dudes who were, I think Kane Hodder is who played Jason in, I think, like 7 through 10, maybe. 7 through 9? I think 7 through 9. Is involved, and, like, you know, clearly the spirit of the games is there. I just don't know that it's going to turn into something that's actually fun.
Well, and they got the guy who did the gore for for a lot of the movies. He was in what's that Rodriguez movie, Dusk Till Dawn? He was the guy with the gun for the penis.
Tom Savini.
Yeah, that's it. Tom Savini.
He did a cameo in the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah.
He was the sheriff.
Yeah. He's in a lot of the zombie stuff. But
For good reason.
anyway, I don't know. It might be good. It might be terrible. I have no idea. Hopefully I'll actually give it a try, as I haven't really played a multiplayer game in months.
It looks like, it's kind of a bummer because I kind of like watching it. They had like an open beta or something a couple of months ago, and they did some gameplay demos, and so I've seen some footage of this actually being played, and it seems like they've kind of, to some extent, built it around streaming, and it's just really unfortunate timing for them, because no way is this thing going to overtake PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Like, that ate its fucking lunch, so...
What's PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds?
Oh, for real, dude? You haven't seen anything on this?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. And that's a really generic name, too.
Oh, it's terrible. It's an awful, awful name. I haven't played it myself. I've watched a bunch of people playing it. It's Battle Royale. It is the movie Battle Royale, or Hunger Games, or whatever. There's 100 dudes on a plane. It's multiplayer only. 100 dudes on a cargo plane, flying over an island, full of weapons and armor and backpacks and shit. And you just pick when you fly out of the plane. And you parachute down, and you just go till there's one person left.
Oh, okay. I heard Giant Bomb talk about this then. I completely forgot about it, though. But
I don't know that it's something I would ever want to play, because for starters, I'm sort of done playing multiplayer games. I don't have the mental fortitude or the patience for it, but man, is that one fun as a spectator sport. Like, you gotta find the right person who's streaming it, who isn't just PewDiePie screaming into the mic for 25 minutes, but it's fun, and some real, I hate the term emergent gameplay, but like, just because of the way the game systems are built, it's made for a lot of funny stuff to happen, so.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So, like, I don't know how Friday the 13th takes that over, especially when it's got like 4 million sales or something ridiculous, but I don't know. I hope for... the sake of that IP, that it's good, because they clearly let these guys take a chance with their movie. I hope it's good.
So, speaking of movies, Aliens Covenant comes out the 19th. I thought that came out this weekend for some reason.
The Aliens Covenant.
Alien Covenant, whatever.
A solemn vow to each other.
The movie that I just can't make myself give a shit about. Like... I got the Aliens quadrilogy on Blu-ray and all that, and I'm probably never going to rewatch Prometheus or the fucking versus Predator movies again, but...
Don't. We've been over this.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, this movie's getting okay reviews, but I still don't like... Like, it's getting positive reviews, like, a little bit less than Jurassic World did, in my opinion, where, like, people are saying, "No, that wasn't terrible, that was average." I wouldn't mind watching that over maybe, like, Aliens 3?
They're not all aliens, dude.
Oh, okay.
There's only one aliens.
Oh, okay.
That was a really weird sentence. I don't know. I can't... It looks like they're going to have a couple of cool scenes. I don't know that this... It doesn't look like this really adds anything... Because at this point, like, I feel like the Xenomorphs are sort of played out. Like, I don't... Whatever. They're basically a force of nature at this point. There's kind of nothing else they can surprise me with. That being said, I don't know that I've seen that this movie is going to add anything to the overall mythology of that series. And, like, Prometheus, what that added just made everything way dumber. Mm-hmm. And, like, boy, I hope it doesn't do that. But that being said, the Xenomorph clinging to the side of that drop ship as it's crashing or whatever, like, that shot looked fucking cool.
I don't know. Nothing in those trailers are doing it for me. I gotta be honest with you. Like, and, I'm just maybe done with the Alien movies. Like, I don't see how they can bring those back and make those scary again. I think the only way they could do it is, like, escalate aliens and make a giant war movie where the human race is losing or something. But kind of repeating the same steps that they keep doing over and over and over again, I don't know that I need that.
when they sort of did that in the second half of AVP Requiem. Like, remember, I was saying it's a zombie
Oh
movie.
yeah,
Like, the
yeah,
second half of that is here's an entire town overrun with these things and a bunch of military dudes.
yeah. That's a
And
good
that piece
point.
wasn't good. So, like,
Eh,
I don't know where else you go with it.
yeah, I don't
So,
know. I mean,
um,
granted, the fucking military dudes from with the equipment from Aliens would be a lot cooler to see than like modern day military dudes like AVP would have had.
it would if they come up with some cool new gadgets or weapons or whatever that like still have that 80s sort of aesthetic, like because that's the path we evolved down in these movies, right? You have these spaceships flying around in 25 whatever, and they're all using like old green screen Apple IIe monitors. Like this is what we evolved down. So if they can come up with some cool weapons or gadgets or whatever that sort of continues that evolution, it might be fun. I'd play some games out of that, but I'm
Yeah,
not holding my breath on this one.
yeah. And then on the 20, really? Why did you? Okay. On the
Just read it.
26th, uh, Pirates of the Caribbean, Deadman. Deadman? Is that what it's called? Really?
That's what the poster said.
Okay, Pirates of the
So,
Caribbean, Deadman comes out.
Dead
Is,
Man. Yes.
is this like the sixth movie, or what
That's.
number are they on?
I think it's 6. Here's the thing. I put this on here
Dead
because I knew I
Man's
was.
Chest. Dead Man's. No, that came out in 2006. Never mind. What the fuck?
The new. It doesn't matter what the subtitle is. It's the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Dead Men
Um.
Tell No Tales. That's what it's called. There.
Oh shit! It must have been truncated. Well, that makes a lot more sense.
I was about to say that's
Um.
a really dud of a title. Like, I know these movies are generic and boring as fuck, but come on.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up because I feel like these movies should be defended a little bit because after the second or third one or whatever, people just started. It became fashionable to shit on these movies. And you know what? They're not good movies. They're totally contrived. Like there's MacGuffins and Deus Ex Machina everywhere. People are coming back from the dead all the time. They're not good movies. But I've never walked out of a theater and gone, well, that was boring. Like they're all just a fun time. Like they're fun old school adventure movies.
Did you
I
see the?
like them.
Did you see like okay? So the first movie I think is a fun, good movie. Like I don't. It's not going to change your perspective on the world, but I will agree. Like seeing Johnny Depp's Jack Burton. Jack Burton. That's his name.
Jack Burton.
What's his
No,
name?
you're confusing him with what Tim Burton
Yeah,
wishes
yeah.
his name was.
Yeah, Jack Sparrow, not Big Trouble in Little China. Although I would kill to see Kurt Russell as Jack Burton in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That would sell my fucking ticket right there. Um, but like the second movie has some really dumb parts in it, and the third movie had even more dumb parts. And I never even bothered seeing the fourth one. Did you see that one?
Was the fourth one the Selma Hayek one?
I didn't know Salma Hayek was in any of them, so I have no idea.
Maybe it was Penelope Cruz. I get them confused all the time.
The fourth one is
Um,
the first one without Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley.
okay, I did see that one, and it was not good. But again, it was still just a fun, goofy adventure movie.
And they got a lot of good actors in it. I mean, this new one, so who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't care. I won't be seeing it, so have fun at the theater by yourself, Jake.
I might literally have the theater to myself again. Yeah, that'll be all right.
Well, you and all the whoever. I mean, I assume these movies make money, or else they wouldn't keep making them. So
They certainly wouldn't be spending the budget they spend on them. So
yeah,
yeah, they got to do all right, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, this one certainly. I mean, the bad guys. I mean, the big effect they're using on them is look, they have holes all the way through them all the time. So
Well, I mean, it's not, that's not unprecedented. They've been doing it since 2004 or whenever the first one came out. So I'm sure they've gotten really good at doing that.
yeah, but they only did that sometimes in the in whatever the first one was. But this one they're doing it all the time. There's no human look for the bad guys, so
Oh, well then.
yeah. And he also doesn't look like he's into hentai like the second and third movie villain was. So
You said hentai. I thought henna, and I'm like, who had a bunch of hand-drawn tattoos on
You know,
them.
pirates, they don't like to commit. So all their tattoos are henna tattoos.
The non-committal pirates.
Like they don't want that. They think about the consequences of their action because they're pirates and they plan ahead.
They don't plunder anybody. They just glower at you from across the sea.
Yeah, yeah.
You stay over there.
I mean, they're mad at Jack Sparrow because they got some form of permanent consequences from him that they can't wash off with soap and water. So,
Right. This will not fade over the course of a couple of days. We will have your head, Jack Burton.
yes. And you know what Jack Burton says to that. I have no idea what he says, but...
I didn't like Big Trouble in Little China. So,
Oh, what the
no,
fuck is wrong? Why are you on my podcast? Fuck.
I didn't like it.
Jesus, you didn't like... How can you not like Big Trouble in Little China?
I get the joke they were making. I just didn't think they made the joke well.
Are you one of these white nationalists I keep hearing about? Is that... Because I think people who don't like Big Trouble in Little China are probably a white nationalist.
Wow, that is a bold assertion. I'm not quite sure how you made that cognitive leap. I'm a little offended. I mean, I guess if white nationalists have replaced the old Nazi joke, like if they're the go-to, I guess I'm not mad about that.
I'm just making shit up as I go, and I don't see how you could not like Big Trouble in Little China. Like, do you just not like old Carpenters? Okay, I'll try and engage you on a serious level. Do you not like old John Carpenter stuff?
The Thing was fucking awesome.
Okay, good. So you got that point in your
So
favor.
you have Kurt Russell, John Carpenter. Great, awesome. I didn't hate it. I didn't go like, this is shit. I don't get why people like this. Not for me. I went, okay, moving on.
What about the Escape movies? Escape from New York, L.A.?
L.A. L.A. New York was fun because they were so earnest about it. I liked the premise. I liked that they were making not serious, but like they were making an 80s action movie and coming at it honest. Escape from LA, it feels like it was kind of maybe too far after the first one that they were like, oh, let's kind of do a send up of those 80s action movies we made, and they missed the mark again. But Steve Buscemi was in it, and I will watch him in anything. So.
Okay, and where do you stand on Captain Ron? I know that's not a Carpenter movie, but
Oh, I think I probably saw 15 minutes of it at some point. Were he and Goldie Hawn actually married at some point?
I don't know.
Weren't they both in that? Maybe I'm getting everything confused because they were in the movie together or something.
Honestly, I realized as the question came out of my mouth that I don't remember shit about Captain Ron.
What did you think of Cabin Boy? What?
I remember his pipes are clean, but that's all I remember of Cabin Boy.
Well, okay, one more thing that I do. That was my go-to on, I'm going to start a conversation without any knowledge. Well, let's do this.
I had an ex-girlfriend who loved Cabin Boy, and I think I've seen it once or twice, and I didn't like it either time, and Letterman is in it for 2 seconds and calls the main guy a Nancy boy or something like that. Or Fancy Boy, that was it. I don't know. People are real big fans of that movie, so we're just pissing them off right now. So let's...
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the people who like that movie really, really like that movie, in my experience. So...
All right. Well, vaya con Dios. Good for you guys. I'm glad you found something you like.
Anyway, so on May 21st, Twin Peaks returns to TV on Showtime.
I put this in here because I was gambling you had watched the first series.
Oh, yeah. I really like the first series. I'm not convinced that David Lynch still has it, and I'm not convinced that he can start this show up again and make it good, but if nothing else, it should be weird as fuck and interesting. And plus, who doesn't love, I forgot his name, the guy from Dune, and he made some cameos in, what's his, Kyle MacLachlan. Who doesn't love Kyle MacLachlan?
I cannot name anyone who doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Oh. Have you not seen David Lynch's Dune, or what else is he in? Blue Velvet, or...
Nope. I played a lot of Dune 2, The Battle for Arrakis.
Ah, jeez.
Was he in that?
No. I mean, he played Paul Atreides in the Dune movie, from that Lynch did, not the sci-fi TV show.
Okay, he was very much that mid-70s looking, like, blonde guy who was way too
No,
tan.
no.
No, was there somebody like that in that movie?
That was Sting. You're thinking of Sting.
I don't think I was thinking of Sting, but yeah, I guess that could be him.
Yeah, though Sting is the guy who appeared half naked in that movie all the time.
The wrestler or the singer?
The singer.
Okay. It could be either.
Have you seen Portlandia?
Nope.
Have you seen... there's at least one more thing that he's in. What is it? How about the second season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Nope. I heard after 3 episodes, everyone went, fuck that thing, don't watch that. And I went, good idea, guys, I won't. Thanks.
He was the only good thing about that show. How about How I Met Your Mother?
God. Boy, I think we should maybe move on.
Jesus Christ, I want you to like it. He's a great actor. Whatever. You don't like Big Trouble in Little China.
Twin Peaks is, and I actually put this in my Netflix queue because it came back to Netflix, I think, in part because, the re-release or the reimagining whatever sequel on Showtime here. It's like about a kid who gets murdered in the Pacific Northwest or something, and then shit just starts going off the rails, like X-Files style, right?
Ish. It's very atmospheric and very it builds a whole lot. Like, it's gonna be a while before you see anything supernatural.
But it's only 2 seasons, right?
Right.
I mean, it's 2 seasons from the 90s, so they're 24 or something episodes probably.
So the first season is more grounded. I think it's only like 10 or 13 episodes or something like that. And there's not as much humor in it, and it has a good build. Like, everyone's the appropriate amount of weird, and I think it builds a real good atmosphere and murder mystery that they don't solve. And then the second season occurs, and their episodes are nearly doubled, and there's a lot of filler in it now. Like, the first season episode is like, I mean, the first episode of the second season is an hour and a half long, and when you watch it, you're like, they literally just added 5 minutes of this idiot stepping on a rake and hitting himself in the face. Did you really need to do that? Like,
wait, for real? They totally Sideshow Bobbed him?
Yes. Like, it is, like, they have this really idiot cop that literally does that thing, and they spend 5 minutes just staring at him, blinking and stumbling around. And it's not for anything. It's just for a joke. And the second season, I think, is still good, but man, they got a lot of bullshit in that second season. Like, one of the guys...
Yeah, I've heard the ending because the internet, which seems kind of shitty, but, like, how are they going to reboot this thing? Like, how are they going to start this back up? Are they just starting from scratch? Or are they trying to do some kind of continuation or something?
I think they're going to revisit the... I think what I've heard about it is there's going to be a time lapse. All the actors are older, and they're bringing them all back, but...
oh, right.
It's going to be, this is this town so many years later, and, like, the biggest question is, at the end of the episode of the second season, like, that's a pretty big, like, thing that happens, and if you've seen it, you probably don't necessarily understand it without the context of the series, but I mean,
from what I understand, it seems very hard for them to write themselves back out of that corner, but okay.
Well, I mean, at the same time, okay, whatever, it's a 30-year-old show. I'm not going to spell out the whole thing, but it's essentially a soul-hopping demon, right? Like, it can hop again. It's just a question of what has happened in that time, so...
okay, I'm not... Alright, I must have the ending that I thought the internet spoiled for me must be for a different show then, I guess. I thought this had something to do with the snow globe. No?
I don't remember anything about a snow globe.
Okay.
The only thing... It seems like a couple things have done the snow globe ending. Like the... what is that movie? The Mortician... No, it's... De La Morte...
Reanimator.
Cemetery Man. That's it.
I was close.
Cemetery Man ends with the snow globe. And I remember really thinking Cemetery Man was funny 15 years ago. Like, I caught it on TV, and then I rented it to watch with my girlfriend at the time, and it turns out like the first 15 minutes of that movie is all like Skinamax, like porn.
That's a good date movie.
Yeah, that was just like super awkward.
More like Skinitary Man, am I right?
Yeah, but that I remember thinking that movie is funny, and I own it, but I haven't seen it in 15 years, so I could be completely wrong. But what are we talking about? Right, streaming. So on the 16th, Tracy Morgan Staying Alive hits Netflix. So if you weren't aware, Tracy Morgan was in a really bad car accident, I guess 2 or 3 years ago now, and took some brain damage. So like if you watch his return on Saturday Night Live, you can tell he's still a little messed up from it.
He was hurt really, really bad. Like he was, I don't know if it was a limo, but he was definitely being chauffeured somewhere. And I guess a Walmart truck driver had been working too long of a shift or something and like veered into their lane. Like they got fucked up real bad in that accident. Like he was, I think, in a coma for a couple of months or something. Like I'm sure I have the details wrong, but regardless, dude got fucked up. So It's awesome that he's made it back and now he's working again. Like, good for him. I hope that's good. And I think like that's a real unique situation for a stand-up to be able to talk about. So like,
yeah.
I mean, as shitty as it is to say, like he's making lemonade. I bet he's got some good jokes about that.
His past stand-ups were super, super raunchy, so like I'm sure that'll still be present too. But I'll be curious. I hope it's good, and I hope it's a return, or maybe a new beginning for him. We'll say so. And then on the 19th, the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season 3 hits Netflix.
Are you watching these?
No, I watched the first few episodes and just kind of decided it's not for me. Randy's wife, Addie, she was on the show years ago, but
wait, what? She was on the show?
On the carousel?
Oh, I thought you were saying she was in Kimmy Schmidt, and I was like, really?
No.
You should watch this and support her, you asshole.
No, I was just gonna say like she's a huge fan of the show. So I don't know. Some people like it. It just wasn't my thing.
It's kind of a spiritual successor to 30 Rock. So like, I really like it. Well, I mean, as far as the writing and the tone and the pacing.
I mean, if it's a spiritual successor, then it is because okay, you have one of the characters or one of the actresses from 30 Rock playing a role in it, and then you have what's her name, Tina Fey, as one of the writers.
Well, yeah. There's all your tone and
yeah, but I liked 30 Rock though.
Well, and I'm not saying it's as good as 30 Rock, but like clearly she has a creative vision that if you liked 30 Rock, this show they're going for kind of the same thing because she knows that's what she's good at. Like you have like the weird like clarinet interstitials between scenes and stuff, or at least feels like you do. I don't know. I got about halfway, maybe 3/4 through the second season and just sort of fell off it. Because even 30 Rock, I had to be in the mood. I have to be in the mood to want to watch that show. And it's an incredible show, and I still need that. So, like, I'm sure I'll get to this one at some point. I'm glad they're still making them. I think they're not all gems, but there's enough funny stuff in there to justify continuing to watch.
Yeah. Okay, so then also, related to releases, Vanquish is coming to PC May 25th, so that's exciting. I can now own a third copy of that game. I hope that means that they'll sell some copies and then make a Vanquish 2. And I hope that they outsource and hire Hideo Kojima to come up with an insane idea for them, because I know that... Like, I don't think he actually worked on that game, but that game has a fucking Hideo Kojima-ass story in it. Like, yeah,
I don't... Like, this is the game you suggested for Game Club back when I was on TVGP's Game Club. So you suggested it, we all had to play it, and then you didn't show up on the show. So thanks for that, asshole.
Yeah, I'm sorry that my toilet just decided it wanted to fucking regurgitate, like, 6 months worth of shit, but...
No, I was saying, thanks for that, asshole. Like,
I really wanted to, because you guys were like down on some of the weapons that I loved too, because I love the fucking buzzsaw thing. But
Well, that's the thing. I did not like. I was thinking I would have the same reaction of Vanquished as I did to Azura's Wrath, which is the only game, again, the only game I've ever thrown out after I was done playing it. I thought I was going to have that reaction, but I really liked this one. Like, yeah, it's goofy anime shit and over the top, but like, there's a wink and a nod that works in this where it didn't work in, oh, I don't know, Big Trouble in Little China. It's good though. The gameplay's fun. It's fast-paced. There are fun weapons. It's quick. It's get in, get out. The story's fun. The characters are fun. Like, yeah, play that. Especially because it's going to be what, $5?
I doubt it. You're kidding me? Like they always charge out the ass for this shit. I bet it's at least 20 or 30.
I don't know that I'd bite at 30. I might bite at 20.
Yeah,
I would definitely bite at 10.
I'm broke enough that this won't be a day one purchase, so I'll probably do it like I got my Xbox copy where I got it for $10 on a sale somewhere. But I love this game, and I'm not really a oh my god I need 60 frames per second dude, but I mean that's a nice little check mark in the pro column. So hopefully they have that like they did with Bayonetta. I think they did that with Bayonetta. Hopefully I'm not just making shit up right now. But whatever.
That all sounds right. But, if not, we can just correct it next episode. So, we're getting something new with Vanquish. We are losing something with, in the next couple of days here, Alan Wake is going away. You will no longer be able to buy it on Xbox Live. I was going to say PSN, but that never came to Sony. So it's going away on Steam. It's going away on Xbox Live. There are some licensed songs in there that I guess they only did an agreement for like 8 years, I think I read, which is a weird number to pick. But whatever. I mean, that's how these things go these days. I heard they were trying to sort of hash out a renewal deal. So, it may end up sticking around, but as of right now, it will be gone as of, I want to say, Monday? Yeah, Monday. So, if you haven't gotten it, you have 2 days to get it as of right now, and it was going for $30, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
But right now it's 90% off, so you're paying $2.99 for it. So, pick it up while you can.
Man, I really liked Alan Wake. I don't think I could go back to it, but I really like that game.
What did you think of the DLC?
I played through the first one, and that no one liked, and I don't remember what I thought of it. I think it's fairly blonde, and then the second one I heard was really good, and then I never played it.
So which one was American Nightmare?
I don't think I played that one. I think didn't they have like 3 pieces of DLC? I just remember fighting a TV at the end of one of them.
Okay.
Like that was a thing, because the first DLC I think was him trying to get out of the ocean. Dark Ocean, whatever it was.
The one I played was like, boy, it's been a while now. I keep meaning to go back to it, and I just never do. He was like a desert sort of not truck stop, like a kind of side of the road gas station sort of auto shop thing, like garage. Like kind of like that first sort of pit stop in Final Fantasy, except dusty and western. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird DLC, but kind of felt like sort of almost an Undead Nightmare kind of overhaul to the game, just because it felt so different than the original. It was weird, but
see, that's a game I feel like could really benefit from a reboot. Because I really like that first game, but that game is way too long for what it is, and I think they could probably cut out at least about a third of the levels in that game, or just like make them shorter essentially, and I think you'd have a really solid game still. So I would like that. But
yeah, I wonder how many people would complain that they didn't get their $60 worth when it came out if it was shorter though.
I've never given a shit about those people, so I don't see why we should start now.
But I feel like that was a much bigger thing when that game came out, because it was before you had all these walking simulators and before you had a lot of these tighter experiences. I think that was before all the Telltale episodic stuff. So like that seemed to be a much different proposition back then, I want to say. I don't know.
Maybe so. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like a 12 or 13-hour game, and it really needed to be like a 7-hour game. Like, because there were
That
a
is
lot
a
of
good 6 to 7, yeah.
yeah, like there's a lot of levels. Like the flashlight mechanic is neat. I don't need to spend hours in a level fucking doing it. And you know what? If you're gonna tease me with a goddamn T-Rex, have the goddamn T-Rex show up, because that was also bullshit.
Forgot about the T-Rex. All I remember was the metal band, like the old bikers metal band.
Oh, that was fucking awesome. God,
Yeah.
that level alone always makes me want to replay that game. But anyway, oh right, they are making another Thief game for some reason. The last Thief got a lot of middling reviews. I remember some people really trashing the shit out of it, but there were a few fans. I'm not really in the Thief fandom. So
The thiefdom.
the thiefdom.
The fiefdom of thiefdom.
Yeah. So I haven't read this article you put up here.
So it's kind of just in the rumor mill at this point. I guess they're making a movie too. Like, I didn't know there were that many fans of Thief.
I don't think there are. I really think Thief is a niche property. I think I mean, I would be if it's not, I would be super interested in seeing the statistics that back that up. But
Yeah, and I am not a stealth games guy. I've never. I keep trying, but I can't make it work. I didn't like any of the Splinter Cell games. Thief, none of those really work for me. Even in Prey, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, the stealth stuff, even when it makes sense to do it, I don't want to do it. The only game I've ever done stealthily is Skyrim and Fallout, just because you have those crazy multipliers for crits. I've never these genres have never done it for me, and Thief is kind of the biggest one, or was in the early to mid 90s. I feel like they're throwing good money after bad with these things, but whatever. I mean, I guess if it's a cult classic and people are stoked, good.
gotta keep the economy going, I guess. I don't know. I don't give a shit.
People are getting jobs out of this game, so it's a net positive. That's my takeaway.
Yeah.
So what we're not getting anytime soon is any more Mass Effect games. It's going away for the foreseeable future. They've taken a lot of the folks who are working on it up in Bioware Montreal and moving them to kind of other products, which, I mean, we could all kind of see coming. Go ahead.
Did they do a season pass on this game? Do we know what happened with that, if they did?
They are still releasing DLC for it. They're not abandoning the game. They are continuing to do patches and stuff like that. They just released another one that fixed some multiplayer stuff, and I guess some of the cinematic sort of mouth flappy things that were weird. So they're not giving up on the game. They didn't empty out the studio. They're just not making any new ones anytime soon.
Well, by the time I get back to it, it'll probably be a month or two from now, and maybe it'll be a better game than what I played previously on it. But
so the reason I wanted to talk about this is what other BioWare games would you want to play right now? Because there's the Old Republic, which, while cool, it's an MMO. There's the Dragon Age stuff, which I feel like people are kind of tired of, and there's Mass Effect. What else do they have that would get you interested in their games?
I'd play another Dragon Age.
Would you?
Yeah. I like the Dragon Age series. It's its hugely flawed series. I don't think there's any denying that. But it's a cool world they made. Kind of where they left Inquisition with the last DLC. Like that raises some huge questions, and that also kind of guarantees some of those characters showing up again. Which, in Dragon Age doesn't always happen. Sometimes they just get rid of all the characters for the most part. Or completely lobotomize them. So
Dragon Ages don't just happen, people.
Yeah.
It takes hard work, concentration, mental fortitude.
I'm skeptical BioWare. Like, I feel like BioWare is losing their way. I like Inquisition was good, but had a lot of bullshit in it. Like, it had an excessive amount of bullshit in it that they could have cut out and made it a better game and filled it out. Like, a lot of people are... You've seen, like, a lot of articles saying it, and I don't know that they said it the best, but open world games are at their best when they're more like a Skyrim or I assume Grand Theft Auto's this way. I haven't really played those very much, but when there are things to do in the world that are in, like if you have a village or something that exists there, you have people in the village doing their jobs and things, and you can distract yourself from the main story by either helping them or investigating or whatever. It's more fluid, not just, oh, hey, go collect these things around the map. Oh, here are more things to go collect around the map. That kind of thing I think gets really old. And that's kind of the Ubisoft way of open world building that has become really prevalent because I think it's really fast to do compared to a Skyrim or a Grand Theft Auto. And
it's very hard to do those right. Like, I feel like the only kind of game out there that did the collectible thing right was the first Crackdown. And that's because it made it fun in and of itself to get the collectibles. I guess Arkham Asylum as well, because you had to sort of know some stuff about the Batman mythos and put the puzzles together to find all that stuff.
Well, and I'd put Infamous in that basket too. Like when you get into like character ability, like a game mechanic that is fun to do, like electrically slide around rails or power lines or something.
Wookie.
Then like I think that makes collectible finding fun. But like in terms of Inquisition, it's a fairly the combat system in that is kind of what the MMOs started with, the tank and caster and all that shit that you're kind of micromanaging as you go, and kind of with that gameplay, like running around the map after stuff is not as fun. There's still some neat stuff to discover in Inquisition, but they could have, I don't know. There's lots of criticism to be had on all those games. So
it's so much easier to do it wrong than to do it right. I mean, you look at Horizon, and you look at how great most of that game was, unless you count the collectible shit.
Yeah.
Like, aside from the Vistas, I think they were called, really, it was just kind of busy work.
Well, and Horizon, I feel, was really on the cusp. Like, if they had... Like, they had a really good organic world set up, I think, to a large degree. But, like, those villages kind of felt like villages. Like, from that point, they just... And, the quests felt a lot more individual and a little bit more meaningful. And they probably could have spent a few more years on that and made it into a Skyrim or a Grand Theft Auto. But obviously, you don't want to probably make that big a gamble on the new property. And I don't know that they're going to make that big a gamble on the sequel to that either, but...
You don't think so? I think that's going to be in a lot of Game of the Year discussions.
Well, yeah, no, I think Horizon 1, absolutely. I'm saying a sequel to Horizon. I just don't put it... These companies don't make great decisions, and the only companies that like really produce these like world-feeling games are companies that are known for doing that, and like, I mean, you pretty much just have what, the Witcher studio, Rockstar, and fucking the Bethesda Elder Scrolls studio, and I'm sure there's one or two more I'm forgetting right now, but. I mean,
I like the idea of a world-feeling game. like you're blind.
Close your eyes.
I guess. Yeah.
Touch the globe. What globe is this? I don't know.
It's VR.
Oh God,
it's
my hand went right through it, so that means it has to be a gas giant, right? So is it? But anyway,
it's a world-feeling game. I'm sorry. Are we done on Bioware? I feel like we're done on Bioware.
Yeah, we're done on Bioware.
Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about Prey. I don't know that I have a ton. Here's the thing. I've played it a bunch. I've played it probably, I'm knocking on like 8 or 9 hours, I want to say. And I don't really know what to say about it so far. I was listening to the folks on over on Waypoint. Their cast came out yesterday, and they were just going on and on and on about Prey and all these characters and these branching paths and all this stuff that happened. And, like, I ain't seen none of that shit. I don't know if it's just later in the game, but, like, I don't think I've met a person. Well, that's actually not true. Last night I was playing. And I did run into two people. They were locked in a escape pod. And very very minor spoilers for like the first 45 minutes. Like you're on a space station at some point, and the outbreak of these black goo monsters happened, and they possess people and stuff. And just as a side note, like this is the last game we're fighting black goo monsters in, right? Because like Resident Evil 7 did it, and I was tired of it by the end of that. Now Prey's doing it. Like, you get two. No more black goo monsters, guys. But anyway, these aliens can sort of possess people and take them over. That's one of the really cool things about this game is like a lot. You'll come across a lot of monsters that are just named Mimic or King Mimic or something like that. But then you'll have these other more humanoid monsters, and some of them have the names that they had in their normal life, and like they don't put a big "fuck me, look over here" sign on it. They just sort of let you kind of. It's just one of those things that you gather while you're fighting this thing, and then sort of after the fact you're like, oh shit, like that was a person, like this was their office. So anyway, in the first 45 minutes, you get the impression that like we got to nuke the site from orbit, and because it's the only way to be sure. Like you don't get to leave either. Like you are now. Your job is to quarantine this fucking thing. Nobody can get off the island because if any of this gets to Earth is fucked. So like, nobody is going home, and I don't know if that's actually true or if they're like just leading you to believe that, and then they're going to spin it at the end. I'm almost hoping that's the case because I've heard about these two people in the escape pod. And they were like, "Oh, there you are! It's Morgan. Morgan, let us out, Dr. Yu. Let us out." And I found the little hatch for it and little button and said, "Okay, you're gonna press here, and it's gonna blow the hatch, and then you got to do your spacewalk because there's a lot of spacewalks. You can go out to space and save them." And I was like, I went to hit the button, and like, I literally like walked up to it like I was putting my hand out and stopped mid reach towards the button. And I was like, oh shit, that's right. I can't save these people. Like, they're gonna kill the human race. Like, sorry. And I just ran away. So I feel like there's gonna be a real shitty ending for me, even though I thought I was doing the right thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to bite me in the ass because it's gonna be real soul crushing. I
didn't even realize there were any decisions to make in this game.
Well, that's the thing. They don't really give you It didn't give me a blue and red pop-up saying like you can make this choice or this choice. It just you came across this escape pod. You can open the escape pod and save these people. And I had to myself remember the whole point of why I'm on this little space adventure in the first place. And I was like, oh shit, that's right. This would be really fucking dumb if I'm really trying to accomplish this thing that I've been told that I'm supposed to be doing. It's really making me question a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff I don't like about it, like and this is not like they fucked up. They were trying to make the game this way. I'm doing a lot of wandering around feeling lost. It's they give you waypoints, but they don't give you like what Knobs calls the idiot line, where like in Dead Space, where you can hit the button and it actually give you a path to where you're trying to go. It'll just be like, there's just a blue diamond on one piece of the screen now. What makes it different from the white diamond? Not real sure. I don't know. So like I'm just sort of wandering around finding stuff, and I feel kind of just meandering and off track, which is good because it's getting me to explore the space station, and I'm finding a lot of cool stuff, but I just don't feel... I don't know.
You're making it sound kind of like an early aughts first-person shooter, like
it is absolutely that. You have this is, I mean, they really went for making System Shock 3 here. Right down to you get your technology alien powers, and you have the Tetris inventory, and you're reading everyone's emails all over the place, and there's notes posted with passcodes to other places. It's very, very early aughts FPS.
Hmm.
And I think that's like they got what they were going for on that, and that's why a lot of people are loving this. And I think it's some of the stuff I'm having trouble with, but it's my fault. Like it's not the game's fault.
Yeah.
Um,
So how
and
far are you into it?
Well, I would have said if you had asked me yesterday morning, I would have said I was at probably like the end of the first act, maybe middle of the second act. And it sounds like I am almost through the middle of the first act now that I've listened to Waypoint. It sounds like there's a lot more of this game, and I think it's because I've done so much wandering and backtracking that if I'd stayed more, if I could figure out how to go through the direct path a little quicker, I think I'd be farther along. One last thing, and that is I do not like being in space. Like, I get it from time to time in Stellaris, where it's just like I sort of I'll zoom out or whatever, and then all of a sudden I'll get this existential dread of like I'm floating out in the middle of nowhere. Oh my God, somebody help me! I'm small and insignificant. I got it real hard flying around space in Mass Effect Andromeda, and here, like you just go on a spacewalk. Like you remember in Dead Space 3, where you sort of had those orbs around wherever that you would sort of float around and jetpack around in.
I never played Dead Space 3.
Was it 3? Maybe it was 2. Oh, it was 2. It was 2.
I mean, 1 and 2 both had like zero-G stuff where you kind of pointed and then you'd launch yourself and then your magnetic boots would kind of hit the ground. And I remember liking a lot of the zero-G stuff in it, but I don't remember actually being in space necessarily.
In 2, you were like, instead of just having zero-G rooms, you had like, hey, we got this planetoid out there, and you got to go hit that switch. Fucking fly over there. It's just like you're out and just floating in space by yourself, and it's terrifying. And here you're doing that around this space station, and it's in first person, and I hate it. Like just emotionally, I hate it.
So you need the VR experience is what I'm hearing out of this.
Fuck that. Oh. And like again, I only hate it because they've done such a good job with it. But fuck that. It's very good. I'm having some fun with it. You know, aside from a couple of hurdles I'm having. I don't know that it's going to be for everyone, but if you like those early aughts FPS, yeah, pick this one up.
Cool. That sounds. You've sold me on it. So I don't know.
Oh, one other thing. This is way a PC game. Do not get this on the PS4. The controls, you can play the demo on the PS4 and that's fine. The controls are clearly made for PC, so get on PC.
Gotcha. So I watched a couple things. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I will stay away from any spoilers on this. But like I watched the movie and I really enjoyed it. But it's like the more I've thought on the movie, I think I like it better than the first one.
Okay.
The Guardians movies, I'm in kind of a position that I don't think will relate to a lot of moviegoers, in that I was a huge fan of the team in the comics, and they really, really change a lot of the characters, like to an extreme in the first movie from the comics, right?
Okay, so not from the first movie to the second one. Okay.
Right. So they, like, I like the first movie too, like, don't get me wrong. I don't like it as much as a lot of other people, and I think that's because I have such an attachment to Drax in the comics or Gamora in the comics. But the thing that trips me out about it is the second movie has so many, like, blatant nods and nudges and things that are from, like, hardcore, like, Marvel cosmic lore in it that it really is just like it's so weird. It's made me realize these movies are fan fiction to the comics, like where James Gunn is literally like, "Oh, I love these comics. Let me do this weird twist fan fiction version," and that's kind of what the movies have become to me to an extent. But It's a lot of fun. It's like the second movie especially has moments in it that kind of make me think of The Fifth Element to a degree. Just
How
in
much
there.
How much Nova core do we got in this one? Are they still bumbling space cops?
I think they get a sentence or two, but they are not actually in the movie. So,
Okay.
but they have, I don't know. There's like it is. I'm sure you've heard. Stay through all the credits. There's a fuck ton of scenes.
Yeah, fuck that. No, fuck you. You get one. I'm not sitting in this theater for another 25 minutes after I sat here 25 minutes before the movie of you showing me trailers for a bunch of other shit. No, you get one. I'm watching the rest on YouTube. Fuck off.
They make the credits pretty entertaining to watch. The entire time they have weird graphic stuff going on. So, like, I recommend you stay through the whole thing and not be obstinate. So, I don't know. I'm actually like this one probably does more setup for a third one than the last movie did, but I'm pretty excited for that. But anyway, it's a great movie. If you like the first one, you're gonna like this one. I don't know if you'll like.
There's a glowing recommendation. If you liked the thing this is based on, here is more of Thing.
I think it's better than the first one in a lot of ways. So, and I think they treat the characters a lot better. And like this one is very much, here's a story about Star-Lord that is very much a vehicle to add a lot of depth to all the characters around him, which I appreciate because I think even in the comics, I think Star-Lord is the least interesting character. And while Chris Pratt is very charismatic in these movies, he's still the least interesting character. Well,
yeah, he's not meant to be an interesting character. He is the viewer, reader, whatever's avenue into this world.
Yeah.
He's the foundation that you latch onto to go explore all this stuff. So he's not supposed to be.
Well, and this is a joke every line kind of movie. A lot of them hit, but for a movie that has a joke every line, they have a lot of really good emotional moments in it, and a lot of good development. And I would be surprised if too many people came out of this movie not absolutely in love with Yondu. Is that
the lady, the bug lady?
No, that's Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker is the bug lady?
No!
Wow,
Michael Rooker
is a bold change in speed for that series.
Michael Rooker is Yondu, the blue guy with the red mohawk.
Okay.
But, like, in the first movie, who cares about him? In the second movie,
well, he was almost a villain in the first movie.
Yeah. In this second movie, I think they did really good with him. I think you will be surprised at how much that movie makes you care about him. But anyway, I also watched.
I got to ask about Baby Groot. How much Baby Groot are we talking about here?
The entire movie.
45 minutes of Baby Groot?
The entire movie.
It's just 45 minutes of Baby Groot. I'd watch that. I'm dead serious.
I don't like Baby Groot is. He gets the whole introduction is. Okay, I won't spoil it. Baby Groot is basically the entire introduction. Like, okay, so the movie. This is not a spoiler. This is just me cautioning. The first 15 minutes or so of the movie is them rehashing all their jokes from the last movie, but it's kind of like following with what Baby Groot is doing at that moment. So you get a good solid 15 minutes or so of Baby Groot.
All right.
And then, he's always Baby Groot in the movie. So you have that going for it.
I want him to be on screen as much as possible. That's what I'm asking.
He's in it a lot. They have a lot of really charming moments with him. He doesn't really get any emotional build stuff or anything like that, but he is.
Whatever.
He is in the entire movie. He has plenty of scenes. I think you will be happy with the quantity of Baby Groot you get.
Good.
So, I also watched a Dear White People on Netflix, which I almost didn't watch because, like, something titled like that, you're thinking, oh god, this thing's just going to be chewing me out the whole time. And for me, I think I'm already, I don't know, I think I'm decently conscious enough to be considerate to other people. But
I treat people with basic human respect.
yes,
well, John MusiM 2017.
I mean, isn't that the fucking that's the anti-argument of racism. Hey, you should treat them like a human being.
Yes.
And racism is like, no, we shouldn't. But anyway, so this show is about a group of kids on a college campus, right? Each episode is, I don't know, there's something like 12 or 13 episodes, and each episode is a different character's perspective. And each character, I think, gets 1 or 2 episodes, something like that. And a lot of the times they'll kind of take you through the same events or the build up to that event with that character. And it's a really, really good show. Like, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. And even the character I consider the main character, which is the one you start out with, which her shtick is she has a college radio show called Dear White People. And she's kind of this punk rock black chick who's out to kind of, you know, about equal rights and stuff to a real extreme degree.
What a crazy idea.
Yeah, I know. Who would have? But I don't. The show has a lot of really good twists and turns. I think it does a really good job on giving everyone's perspective who matters. Like, you know, like they do have a stereotypical douchey white guy who takes all the douchey stances, who is always going to be a 2D character. And in real life, it's hard not to take those people as 2D characters. So, like, they don't have an episode for him, but they have an episode. They do have at least one white guy who gets an episode. So, but
did they? You keep saying 2D. You like running them together. Is his last name in the show actually 2D? Is he like David 2D? Because that would be incredible.
No. What? What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but it's a really good show. It has a really good soundtrack. It's I highly recommend it. I'm hoping they do a second season. I've heard it's based on a book. I've not read the book. But whatever doubts you have about this show, I think you should watch it anyway. I think it is good for everyone's perspective. I think it does an awesome job at delivering the complications of white and black race relations. And it even has a lot of friend zoning shit in there. And that is... Like,
didn't see that coming.
You know, on like social media, you always get the really hardcore feminists kind of talking about how dumb friend zoning is. But I think this gives a really fair perspective on kind of people intentionally putting themselves in the friend zone, and then people also deciding to use the people who put themselves in the friend zone kind of thing. But it's a very well thought out show, I think, for the most part. But
now that's a Netflix original, right?
Yes.
They paid for that. They made it.
Yep.
Okay.
So if I am wrong, then please write in and tell me I'm wrong, and give me some thoughts to chew over. You know, like, I would appreciate it. I like thinking. So, but anyway. So, Jake, it looks like both you and I watched the new Norm Macdonald stand-up.
I'm gonna go first because I think you're gonna probably have more nice things to say about it than I do.
Oh, okay.
I did not dislike it. You know, it's just that I don't. I thought Norm Macdonald would be my thing. I really liked Dirty Work. I thought Dirty Work was hilarious. I guess I just like his stand-up is not for me. Because just like there was a couple of lines that made me laugh out loud. But God, what was the? I forget it now. I watched it 2 hours ago and I've already forgotten. But it just like his tone. To me, he seems like Mitch. Like his delivery is a lot like Mitch Hedberg, in that he's not being super charismatic. He's just up there trying to tell the jokes. Except Mitch Hedberg recognized that and just went, joke, next joke, set up punchline, next joke, because he knew that like his mannerisms and his moving through the material, like that was not his strong suit. I feel like Norm doesn't do that, and I don't know that he's for me.
After the first, like, I went in knowing Norm Macdonald was a weird motherfucker who most of the time I don't get. And after the first 10 minutes or so, like, I thought that was kind of but once I realized what it was and kind of tuned in, I really like this. Like, I think this is my favorite stand-up I've seen this year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
Like, I thought it was really funny. Like, he had me going, like, now granted, I think everyone's been bringing their C&D game this year. You know, I like the Dave Chappelle, I like the Louis C.K. stuff, but I also don't think it's anywhere near their best. And it's stuff that I watch and I think, oh, that's funny, and don't actually laugh out loud. And this Norm Macdonald thing, I was not uncontrollably laughing through the whole thing, but I had a couple moments where I did get a good laugh on. And like almost the whole time after that first 10 or 15 minutes when I realized, oh, he's just going to keep doing this. I'm super dumb and super minimalist and very simple and going to present these really obvious conclusions to you. Like, I really enjoyed it.
The piece that I seem to remember thinking was sort of the best chunk of it was when he started talking about idioms. You know, like you can lead a horse to water and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But what surprised me, like, because the second he started telling the joke for each of the jokes, like, I got what his punchline was going to be. And on some of those, I laughed. Like, I made the 3 steps myself, got to the end of it and went, yeah, that's pretty funny. It was surprising to me how many people in the audience waited until he actually told the punchline. It seemed like they waited till then that it was actually clicking for them that, oh, this is the joke he's telling. Boy, he really got me good there. And it's like, the fuck are you people?
It's just funny because, you know, usually like they try and do these real big mind hops, and he just like, let me do this really stupid mind hop, like when he starts talking about World War II. It's like, I don't know if you've read history, but like just say this really obvious dumb shit. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like, you're right, his mannerisms suck. He's not good at the mannerisms thing, but
and it's his gig is that he will tell a dumb joke and drag it out for 5 minutes. And like it doesn't do it for me. But like
he has really good sidetracks on that stuff, though. Is kind of my argument for it. Just
I don't think he does.
No.
But it's comedy. It's completely subjective. You know, I'm not going to admit that I'm the crazy one on this, like I did on a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh, Mystery Science Theater. I know I'm the idiot on that one. I'm not going to admit that here. I think it's just that he appeals to very specific senses of humor, and that is not the type of sense of humor I possess.
Well, and like to me, this is like a strong B+. Like this is not the best. This is not compared to like the Louis C.K. thing where he's talking about sitting outside his apartment or whatever and telling a guy that he doesn't live there just to fuck with him kind of thing. Like, this is not like that level of comedy, but it's still pretty good, you know?
The thing with the barber was pretty good, though. With the guy who cuts his hair.
Who are you talking about, Louis C.K. or Norm Macdonald?
Norm Macdonald.
I don't remember that part.
The bit about how you put something in your note and point at the bartender, or the guy who cuts your hair, the barber?
I watched this thing a few days ago. Like,
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't even remember my favorite bits on my favorite stand-ups, but
he was doing all this stuff on the risk reward of autoerotic asphyxiation. No, you remember this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
I think that's probably about 20 or 30 minutes in, I want to say, and like clearly he started hitting his stride at that point, and it did get a lot better.
Yeah. Like, the beginning of that's all awkward. Like, they start where I thought it was Jonathan Lithgow in a cap at first, but I guess that was just Norm Macdonald walking down a path. And, like, you hear him talking in the background, and it's really jarring, because it's like they cut out the beginning of his stand-up, and I'm not really clear if that actually was the beginning, and they just did it that way, or if he fucked up the beginning and they just started it there, or what. But like after the first quarter of it, like I think it gets a lot better. But anyway,
see, that's the part I hate about all this stand-up special is the, oh, here's me driving to the venue, here's me behind the scenes, here's me walking out on the stage, here's 25 minutes of people, or 25 seconds of people clapping. Fuck all that. Start telling jokes.
Yeah. Well, and I was watching another one on Netflix from, I forgot, the lady who does all the funny voices. And I thought it was going to be...
Sarah Silverman?
No. Like the blonde lady, like in the Louis show, she was fucking Louis for a little bit, and like all she would do is like tell
you sure
Louis
you
how
don't mean-
shitty in bed that he was.
You sure you don't mean Tara Strong? Because she's the blonde lady who does all the funny voices.
No, like the stand-up comedian lady who does the funny voices. Anyway,
Okay.
she's not like a fantastic stand-up. Like, she has occasionally some good bits. And she
Eliza
was...
Schlesinger, maybe?
No.
The segue was not... She's not real good at stand-up. The segue was... I was trying to think of other
No.
blonde
I
comedians.
like her better than Eliza, whatever her name is. She was on the Patton Oswalt tour documentary thing. She was one of those comedians.
Maria Bamford.
Sure, I really don't remember her name.
She's a little older. She's got real short hair.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Big Baby or some Giant Baby. Is
Yeah. Old Baby. So I turned that on, and it starts out, and it's her telling jokes in front of a guy on a couch.
Oh, isn't that her dad?
I have no idea. But the whole special is just, like, she never gets in front of an actual audience crowd. It's always just these weird assemblies. And, like, I didn't finish it, so maybe it does. But, like, 45 minutes in, I'm like, this is a really long fucking intro to your thing. When does the stand-up start? Oh, this is the stand-up. This is your special. Okay.
I think I heard... I might be confusing her with, like, maybe Tig Notaro or something, but I heard some female comedian on Fresh Air talking about how her new special was, like, her doing her act in front of her mom and dad and just them in their house. So maybe that was that one.
And she changes rooms and places a lot. Like, sometimes she's on the sidewalk talking to random people, and sometimes she's in an apartment talking to... Like, when I left, she was in an apartment talking to, like, 15 people or so sitting in front of her. But
That's a cool idea.
It's a cool idea, but it was really weird because I kept expecting it not to be that. But anyway, we've talked long enough. I think we need to wrap this shit up. So
Let's.
Be sure and join us. I know today we went in at an odd time, but we are normally every other Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. Check out the website, thecarouselpodcast.com. Go rate and review us on iTunes and Google Play and all that.
Yeah, we need to get some sweet ads for fruit.
No, I don't. I will kill me if we ever start doing those fucking ads. Unless they just, like, they must pay an absurd amount of money to be willing to fucking talk about that shit on podcasts, because I don't see why else you would do it. Anyway, send us emails at carouselpodcast@gmail.com. Send us tweets at carouselpodcast. Come join the Facebook group. And and buy my music at MusiM.bandcamp.com. And right, you aren't anywhere, are you, Jake?
Nope, I have erased myself from the internet. In fact, I even finally went through and burned my YouTube channel to the ground.
Okay.
So it's still there, but I deleted 180-something videos. So.
Jeez.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. So, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next turn.
Bye, guys. Oh, thanks for joining us in chat. Did you just say that?
Well, I mean, we still got to do titles. But yeah, thanks for joining us in chat, too. But we're going to talk about titles that Jake wrote down that I totally didn't.
It's whatever. It's all just masturbatory at this point, I guess.
Yeah. Well, why don't you read through them?
All right, we got Pirate Jack Burton, Skinitary Man, which, nope, I'm crossing that one off. The Thiefdom Fiefdom, Dragon Ages Don't Just Happen, World Feeling Games, I like that one. From Dimebag, I Hope It Bites Me in the Ass, and Jonathan Lithgow in a Cap.
I kind of like Dragon Ages Just Don't Happen. Or Don't Just Happen.
Dragon Ages Don't Just Happen.
I could go with World Feeling Games too, but I really, that Dragon Age one kind of hits me right.
Okay. All right. Let's give chat 10 or 15 seconds to see if anyone's got a vote there.
Okay.
I love that all these things save in Slack. That I can just go back through these just all the way to forever. Like February 16th. The whole U.S. is fucked.
Oh, so true.
Wow. Okay, well, that looks like that's it. So, Dragon Ages Don't Just Happen. There you go.
Okay, well, thanks for everyone for joining us in chat, and we will return on May 25th.
12 days. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys then.
Later.